Hey guys, still doing some more cleanup from the property, and as you can kind of see here, there's a bunch of boxes, and they were that little tiny room that was tucked away with no lighting, which was kind of like a storage room of hardware and whatnot. And this is all, for the most part, nuts, bolts, washers, all different types and flavors, and it really wasn't stored with any kind of rhyme or reason to it, but it was all new old stock in boxes. So I figure what I'm gonna try and do is maybe I'll try to open the top of all the boxes so I can see down inside them, and just try to make maybe groupings of the same stuff, or nut bolt washer combinations that fit each other. And there's a lot of brass in here too. So, we're going to turn the camera on. I'm going to show you what we got going on. Over here. And I don't have room for this stuff, but I can't see it just going to waste, so I'm going to have to make room. Because, if you guys know, you go to buy the stuff, it can get pricey, especially for good stuff, You can go to buy the cheapy stuff at Home Depot. I think they're $5 a box for five screws and 5 nuts together. And if you go to buy anything that's hardened or any kind of grade to it, then it starts getting more expensive from there. So I got that, and this cabinet seemed to be pretty much all, what do you call that, stove bolt, pan head. That's what this whole cabinet's full of. And no, that's what it is on top. Those boxes are segregated, and then down it's all Allen head down below. So I'll probably leave all that together. I don't use that stuff all that much, so I may just try to stick that cabinet in the little garage, and if I need it, I'll go out there and go hunting. And one of the other things, there's actually 2 rolls of it. I thought it was like copper screen, but it's not. It's bronze. Hasn't turned green in 35 years, so it's definitely not copper. 30-inch roll wide. And I want to say that roll is probably about 40 pounds or so. So even in scrap value alone, And there's 2 rolls of that. So I kept that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But again, I couldn't see that kind of going to waste also. And then we got this one. The toolbox is empty, but sitting on the shelves was just a whole bunch of kind of like copper fittings and pipe fittings. So I figured I'll throw this down in the house. There's a small workshop down in the basement of the house. It really doesn't get used for anything other than storage, but it's like the stuff when I was working on the house. There's some shelving down there that has, one plumbing, one electrical, one this, one that, paint cans and everything. So I figured I'd just stick that whole setup down there too, and if I need to pick anything, we'll grab that. And of course all the tools, but that won't be on this one. Got knives. I got a phone call, so I'm going to turn you back on in a second when we start getting some organization. Alright, so I took and decided to divide colors. We got like brass and copper all segregated over here. That's not brass and copper. That's miscellaneous. Anyway, so we got all the kind of brass and copper on this side, and I took in a mix. That's a mix. Put all the steel stuff over here, and then I took the steel and kind of tried to organize them by size, and they're all like regular coarse thread. So I got 1/2 inch, 7/16, 3/8, and then we go to 1/4 and then 10/32. That's kind of my battle plan. Figure I just put them all in groups. I leave them all in boxes. I think I'm going to take and I'll just tape down the sides of the boxes so they're like this, because if I leave them in boxes, I'll never know what I have. So it's got to be something you can kind of look down on and say, okay, that's what they are, you know. I have an organizer over here, an unorganized organizer of sorts, and unfortunately it kind of turned into a junk drawer. But this is mostly fine thread. So the hardware and all this stuff was kind of had the bolts, but all the nuts were used up. So wherever you see the nuts, kind of replenished that group. And I think we'll do a little fine tuning on this one, kind of get it a little bit more in some kind of fashion, but it's decent anyway. You know, I can find what I need as far as this guy's concerned. But there's not enough room for all this stuff, and I think I really couldn't even use that anyway, because then I'd have to take it out of the boxes and etc., etc. So my battle plan, my toolbox. There's basically from this drawer down to pretty much this drawer is my main stuff. You know, obviously screwdrivers, this is sockets, pliers, wrenches, hammers, and then we get kind of like into miscellaneous crap. So that's that one. Here's this one. I never use anything in here, you know. I'll grab a mask out of here maybe once a week, and then everything else is just fluff. And then the bottom drawer is kind of like a hardware drawer that I do use. Again, it's, you know, of course over time it turns into the slob. So I'm thinking we go for, you know, probably this drawer or the one below it. I think the one below it might be a little deeper. Yeah. So it's got all the dividers and everything in it. So I think this stuff should get 86'd out of here, and then we'll stack the hardware up in a usable fashion and see if we can kind of get it so that like things are together and I can open the drawer and look down on it and see what I have. So that's going to be my battle plan. We're going to do that for the steel portion of the show. We'll see how much room that takes up, and then if we got room for brass, we'll do the brass, and if we continue to have room, we will dig into that cabinet, which is more on the set screw speed of things. So I don't know, what do you think? That bench pretty much looks like it's going to be that space, but again, worst case, we have two drawers to work with. So I am going to purge that, and we'll figure out what to go do with all that junk at another time. But we'll also make the toolbox, you know, the prime space in my garage is this right here, and it's stuff that I would use the most, and that cabinet is more than tough enough to hold that weight. This is a actual hardware cabinet that would have been used in a factory, so the drawer capacity is quite high on it, so that won't be an issue. Alright, so let me get to organization. Alright, I have a meat lover's pizza on the brain, so we'll do the great unveil. We'll go up to the bottom. That stuff was never going to fit with the stuff down below, so I was kind of glad that I jumped up and commandeered the space. And there's more back there. There's more screws, you know, like wood and that kind of style screws, metal screws, but like sheet metal, not threaded. So I may go and grab a bunch of that, and maybe we'll continue the area. I didn't want to take it. I felt like I was, you know, what am I going to do with all this? But now that I got it kind of laid out, you can see everything right where it is. I think it'd be a good idea, and be foolish to leave it behind, you know. It's that one. And that one. Man, that's just... And I got room for expansion. I left some fluff area in there. And again, there's more there. But even stuff that I buy now I'll kind of keep it somewhat organized. I say that, and we'll look at this 5 years from now. It'll be just nothing but just a blur of hardware on top, all junk drawered. So it's organized all the way up to here, and then in this area was just miscellaneous, whatever I had. If I find that I'll get even more of this kind of stuff, I can boot these guys, because I think there was much more smaller stuff. I wasn't concentrating on that though, and I could bring the junk drawer, the miscellaneous rather. We'll grab one of these sections here. So I'm happy. It's you know, I probably spent 3 or 4 hours doing this, but over the course of time, how much time do you spend looking through jars, dumping, looking for hardware, or running to the hardware store to go get something? So it'll definitely make me much faster in building stuff, you know. And you just can kind of look at what you got and get ideas, you know. Oh, I got a brass one of those. I can make whatever, you know. Better than here's the old system. Yeah, I got some there, some there, some there, some down in there. Buckets. So you dump the whole thing out, try get a combination for it, and now you just be able to grab it and go right through it. So that's it. I am going to go throw a pizza in the oven. Have me a good old time. Alright guys, thanks everybody for watching, comments, subscribing. You know it's going to stop. One other thing I liked, some of the boxes have a metal corner on them, so it makes the boxes themselves really tough. So it should stay pretty good. Alright, I'm rambling. Later.